Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Got another weekly update for you all. I'm going to keep this one quick just as it's been, I've been very busy. So I just want to apologize for the lack of uploads, but I'm trying to at least stay consistent as far as sharing, how training's going and what I'm doing on a weekly basis. And then hopefully as things slow down, then I can get some more videos out for you all. But long story short, this week, my fiance Natalie and I put on in an offer for a house, and we ended up getting it. So, been spending a lot of time just getting logistics set up for that purchase of the house. And as you can imagine, that's quite busy, on top of, school and teaching and all of that good stuff as well. So busy, but I wouldn't have it any other way for sure. Now, as far as training goes, the show must go on for training. I did start this week a little bit under the weather, just with like a upper respiratory thing going on, bit of like some wheezing and trouble breathing, and I felt it pretty heavily during that day one. So I had sets of 8 for the safety bar squats, and they weren't super slow by any means, but they weren't as fast as they were the week before. But we're progressing slowly but surely, and we should be into the 500s for this coming week, so that is exciting. And hopefully if I can kick this bit of cold/allergies I've got, then things should go well. Then I did decide on day 2 to film both my overhead presses and some of my flat dumbbell bench press, which I have been doing, slowly kind of inching the weights up for these, crossing this 100-pound threshold. Now, 100-pound dumbbells aren't super heavy for something like a dumbbell press for me, but coming directly after overhead press with the 80s, I've got a pump starting to come at this point in the training session. But we're going to keep inching those up. I haven't pushed dumbbell pressing in a long time, so excited to see where that goes for sure. And then we have one-legged leg press from day 3, which these are starting to get heavier for sure. I'm having some fun pushing myself, 4.5 plates for one-legged leg press sets of 10. And I do feel this in my hamstring and glutes a whole lot, so I'm hoping there will be some carryover. And it's kind of nice because there isn't that like axial fatigue that you would get from one of the main lifts, like a squat or a deadlift. And at the same time, I'm not having to load like a million plates like I would have to for a regular leg press. So a fun challenge without having to go as crazy on the weight, for sure. What was I going to say? Also, yeah, so on this day, we have hex bar sets of 8. I didn't get to film these. This was just part of kind of the time thing. But, still moving pretty fast. The weights are pretty light. I think this week it was somewhere around 480 pounds or so for the sets of 8. So, in a good spot to keep those rolling forward as well. And then closing the week here, I've got pause squats with the safety squat bar. Supposed to be 5-count pauses. We know how that goes, but I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job, at least as far as extending the pause for these. I will say we're starting to get up there in the weight. It's not that it moves slow per se. I think these are still moving actually pretty fast, but the pressure sitting down there, I start to feel like my eyes are going to pop out of my head, which, hey, that's part of powerlifting, I suppose. So, starting to push the weight a little bit more, which is certainly fun. That's what we're in the gym to do. And I do feel like these will have some carryover, not just to my squat, but to my deadlift as well, because I really start to feel it in my hips and glutes and low back by the end of the 5x5 for these pause squats. I think I have another set of these that I put on. Yep. Just kind of talking about me for a little bit. So we're kind of in this awkward phase, really deep into the off season right now. This is a great example of a time period where you just have to stay focused and kind of just keep working. There's nothing to be super excited for. I don't have a major competition to be excited about. And this is where some balance certainly helps. So I've been spending a lot of time focusing on my side business. And like I said, we're purchasing a house and school and work and all of that good stuff as well. Those can help balance you for when training isn't super exciting. But with that said, you have to still go in and get the work done with training. And just to understand that there will always be these ebbs and flows as far as like where motivation's going to be. And if you only go in and train whenever you're super motivated, then that's going to lead to you being a very mediocre powerlifter, right? All of the great powerlifters put in just consistent effort over long periods of time, and that's what leads to the gains, right? So you just have to understand, okay, this might not be an exciting time for training. That's kind of how I feel right now, but it's just that marching forward, one foot in front of the other, and then before you know it, you're going to be around to a time in your schedule where training is more exciting, or you do have a competition coming up, but it was the work that you put in during the boring time periods that will set you up for the more exciting times, right? And people love to talk about all the heavy lifting, but the sets of 8 and the 5 count pause squats and all of the very boring things, that's what counts whenever you're building towards your final total going up at the end of the day. So there I go with that rant. I'll kind of leave it at that. Moving forward to bench press, we're slowly upping the weight here. We've taken it nice and slowly. 365 pounds at this point, so I'm up to 3 plates and a 25 for my 5x5 on pin press. Moving pretty well, honestly. Really, the first couple sets were a little more sluggish. I think this was set number 2. I should have probably recorded one set closer to the end, and I think it did move better than this set for sure. So, things are coming back as far as bench is going. I'm losing a little bit of weight here and there, so that's going to make it tough too. But overall, it was a good week of training. I'm excited to, just keep pushing through. There's a lot of life milestones to hit, and soon enough, the lifting in the gym will take that spotlight once again. So thank you all for watching, as always, and until next time, happy lifting.